Hello everyone, I am Bogdan, your guest for the podcast. Today we have here Maxim Rotaru, and without further ado, I will let him introduce himself. So, hello Maxim, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi Bogdan. So first of all, thank you for the invitation. As a short introduction, I'm Maxim Rotaru, a founder and CEO of Webamboos. Webamboos is a software agency specializing in custom solutions for companies in the logistics field. I founded Webamboos almost 10 years ago, and in the meantime, I have grown a team of 30 people with whom I've worked on complex projects all over the world. Beside that, I'm also a father of two children, which has taught me a lot about how to build, grow products and teams with care, patience. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Maybe we can touch on that later if you want. So, first and foremost, tell us the story behind your business. Why have you started? Was there a passion, or how did you start it?
It was a combination. Everything started with one of my internships in a company in Berlin. I worked there in a software company. I liked it very much. It was a small company with around 30 people from I think 15 countries, different countries. So it was an amazing team. And after that, I came back to Romania. I was hired in a big company, German company with a lot of processes. I learned a lot of things from there. But I felt like that the decisions were not made there by my managers, by even the people from Romania. So at that moment, I started to look up for a startup, for a local startup, and in 2014, somewhere there, they were in Timișoara, at least, they were not so many startups with that were working with the technology that I knew and that were fully owned by Romanian. So as I didn't find anything, I said that, okay, I'll find it. And of course, it was a lot of, influences from Silicon Valley. We were watching and hearing a lot of stories from there. So I said that I want to build something like there.
Okay, that's very interesting. And have you achieved your dream?
I think I will never achieve it, but I'm in process because every time I'm setting a goal, I'm touching it, or even I'm not touching it, and I'm setting a new one, a higher one.
Okay.
So if you ask me the dream or what I wanted at the beginning, definitely I have achieved that in the first probably 2 years. But I haven't just touched it and I set a new higher.
Okay, that's very interesting. And regarding the trends in the market, have you seen any, or are you aware of any trends in the custom software development businesses?
Yeah, I think that the most fundamental trends we are seeing isn't just about a specific technology like AI or cloud platforms, although they are important. I think that the real shift is in the client's mindset. The market has matured beyond simply looking for developers to hire for an hourly basis. Companies, especially in complex fields like, for example, logistics, now demand specialized technology partners who understand their business from day one. They are looking for a team that knows how they can be productive from the first day and to speak their language. So I think this is the strategic move to de-risk their projects and accelerate their time to value. I think that they realize that paying for expertise isn't a cost, it's an investment.
I mean, it sure is. So yeah. Is there anything regarding the trends as well? Is there anything in the market that's making the landscapes more challenging or easier for you to operate?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Because in the last few years, we saw a lot of digital transformation and a lot of companies, and here I'm talking mostly about big companies, they started to add a lot of systems that don't communicate between them. And now we are seeing a lot of companies coming to us to help them with integration of those systems, or at least changing or building a wrapper over it that can communicate and really add the digitalization. Because at this moment, they have digitalized, but different processes that don't communicate between them. So I think that now clients aren't just looking for coders, they're looking for people that understand how they can bring all those systems together. And I think this is possible just working with specialized agencies.
Okay, that's interesting. So regarding again, yeah, the last question, how does your competitive landscape looks like right now in 2025?
Look, on one side, we have large traditional consulting firms, which are often slow, more expensive. On the other hand, we have generalists development agencies that can build app, but they don't own deeply knowledge about a specific industry. So our advantage lies squarely in the middle. We're agile, deeply specialized, so we differentiate ourselves by speaking our clients' language and focusing on building systems that become their long-term competitive advantage. Yeah, something neither a generalist nor a big corporation can offer, at least at the price that we can offer.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I was about to ask you what's your competitive edge, just a follow-up question, a random follow-up question that just came to my mind, but I think you answered it already. So right now regarding the marketing side, so everyone knows that marketing is important in every business, but I believe that especially in businesses that offer services, how do people find about you and your services?
So we have different channels. During 10 years, we are focusing on different channels. Of course, we started with just spreading the word between our friends, relatives, and so on. And after that, our clients were recommending us. When we managed to have a good portfolio, we started to promote ourselves on different specialized platforms. Maybe you've heard about the Clutch, Good Firms,
Yeah.
these kind of platforms. But the problem is that we see now that they are oversaturated. So in the last 2 3 years, they are not working as they worked some years ago. So now we started to focus on SEO, which means that we try to add more useful content. We started to shot some videos telling our clients how we developed a project from scratch, from the beginning, how it was planned. So this is now on which we focused. Of course, there are a lot of other things that we tried in the past, but they didn't work. So if you want, I can mention about them. But basically, these are the things that worked and what we are still doing.
Yeah, so you're basically creating a brand around the service you provide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, can you walk us through the methods that you've used in the past that didn't work? And also what do you think works right now for your type of business?
So I have two things that come to my mind that were the biggest fail in marketing or sales that we've done in the past. So the first thing is trying to outsource this. So there are a lot of companies that offer you that, hey, we can send 1 million emails or we can call.
Yeah.
And we tried a couple of times. We worked with the agency, with freelancers, and it never worked. And after some time, I just realized that this shall be our strength. We know our clients. No one knows as good as we know our clients. So that's why it's easier for us to attract clients. I don't know, calling them, but definitely not outsourcing, even though we are not doing that. So this was I would say we spent the most of our money on this and it didn't work. And the second one was Google Ads. We tried at the beginning, it was very expensive. And at some point we just said, okay, we have to stop because otherwise we'll spend our annual budget in 1 month just to get some.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Okay, so right now I was wondering how easy it is for you to attract and also retain high quality marketing team members, if you have any marketing team members.
Yeah, for how we retain a marketing, what we notice is that the key is to lead with our specialization, because even top tier talent isn't interested in a generic software agency. There are thousands of generic software agencies, so they
Yeah.
are interested by a mission. By, for example, as we are trying to do, we want to be global leaders in logistics software development. So our sales team functions more like a consultancy here, because they understand the industry, they understand the client's need, and the people from our sales team are able to diagnose a client's operational pain points and architect this directly solution and not just sell a product. So it's a higher bar, but it's a more rewarding role, which helps with the retention.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Returning to you as a business owner, what are you responsible for today, and how do you currently spend your day?
Yeah, my role changed a lot during the last 10 years, but as a CEO, my primary responsibility is to set strategic vision and ensure our team is empowered to execute it. Yeah, my day-to-day has shifted from being part of projects, even hands-on, writing code. This is This was my day-by-day activity, I would say, I think 7 years ago, because from 2018, from 2018, I stepped out of this, and I started to act more like a CEO. So there are three core areas that I'm focusing now. First one is to have a high-level strategy and client relationships, that ensuring we are not just delivering software, but becoming indispensable for partners. Second one, empowering our team and our culture, because our people, our entire product. We don't own a product, so our superpower are the people from our team. And third, keeping a finger on the pulse of the logistics industry to anticipate the next wave of challenges our clients will.
Okay. The last one I found it very interesting that you want to. I believe that. That you're an expert in the niche that you're serving. That you know the niche very well.
Yeah. Basically, it wasn't like this from the beginning. We decided to specialize in logistics almost 2 years ago, because we found out that we had in our portfolio some interesting projects and interesting clients for whom we delivered a lot of value. And we said, okay, if we know this, why not to specialize more and more into this? Moreover, logistics is such a wide industry. It has so many solutions. So what we are doing now is trying to find out some more niched solutions. For example, logistics of events, logistics of, for example, delivering letters. So this is a very wide thing and we are trying to find some specialized problems and to find solutions for them, of course.
Okay, that's interesting. So not only you're specializing in the niche, but you're also trying to specialize in the sub niches of that niche.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I think I rarely see people that are doing that. So I think this is another point for your competitive edge.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for you as a CEO and as a manager, what are the most important metrics right now in the business?
I would say the most important metrics probably are the ones I'm checking the most often. And the most often I'm checking our pipeline because that ensures sustainability. New client acquisition in logistics, because this is our strategic focus. And retention of our clients, because just you to know, as for now, our longest collaboration is lasted 8 years. And we have 10 years since Webamboos was founded. So for me, this is an important metric, and I'm trying to keep our relationship for as long as possible.
Okay, that's interesting. 8 years is it's impressive for a collaboration. You're talking about goals a little bit. I think at the start of the podcast. So let's return to that. What are your goals for the next 6 and 12 months?
Okay, so basically short term. For our short term goals are very easy. We want to strengthen our position as the go-to logistics software partner. And I would say in the next year, we want to expand our client base with at least 2-3 big logistics projects that showcase innovation.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, regarding the last question, I believe it's linked to that. What matters more than anything to you right now?
I think building trust. By the way, this was our motto at some point.
Okay.
Because to grow a business, relationships have to last years, not months. If we build trust with clients and deliver consistent value, growth naturally follows.
Yeah, so they will recommend you, and therefore they will be long-term clients as well.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's go into the problem criteria right now. This is one of, I think, the most interesting question I have on the podcast. So if you had a magic wand right now that you could wave to solve one thing, what that one thing be and why?
I think I'd solve the cultural resistance to technological change that exists in some corners of the industry. The technology itself isn't often the easier part of the equation. The real challenge is in management, in adoption, getting an entire organization, because when a company wants to specialize or wants to digitalize, in most of the cases, to develop the software is very simple, or to implement the new system is not so hard, but it takes a lot of time until every employee understands not just the software, but why they are doing that. I'll go deeper into this by an example of from logistics industry, because here we have most of our experience.
Yeah.
Logistics is an industry where you operate with very low margins. So in case you are not digitalized or you do not innovate, you'll be irrelevant in the next, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 years, because the competition will adopt new technologies and they will be faster. They will make less mistakes than you. So that's important, that the management and the employees of the companies to understand why it's important to digitalize or to automate some of the processes, and not to be afraid, because we see a lot of people that are afraid that now the company will implement some automations and we will get fired. What we are doing, even AI, even automation, they won't replace good people. You still need the people to operate or to give the second opinion or to review what the digitalization is doing.
Okay. Do you think AI will replace humans in the next couple of years? Just as a random question that just came up on my mind.
Here, depending on which industries we are talking, I'm not very aware about other industries, but I assume that it's already happening in some industries, such as, I don't know, copywriting, maybe. Not
Yeah.
sure, I don't want to get into, but I think that maybe there it's a little bit easier, but it will be more difficult in our industry because, as mentioned, what we are doing is, as I said, you don't just write code, because writing code AI will do very well, and we need to leverage this. But if we are talking about big companies that need to automate, to digitalize different processes and to communicate between them, and on top of that to be secure, I don't think AI will be able to do that in the next couple of, let's say, years. By years, I mean in the next 3 years, 5 years. After that, probably AI will come with new technologies. Maybe it will transform to something new, because current AI is mostly LLM.
Yeah.
So yeah, my answer is that if we are talking about complex software development, I don't think it will be replaced by AI. If we are talking maybe, I don't know, maybe about developing some landing pages, some very simple web pages, yes, there might be, because even now we see some good tools that you can use to just develop in, I don't know, in 1 hour a very trendy, beautiful landing page.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you were talking about that if you could solve one thing, it would be the cultural change, right? Have you tried anything before to solve that problem? Or is there a way that you think that would work to that problem?
We talk to, for example, the client is coming, they're saying, hey, we want to do that, to implement this solution. And during our discovery workshop, before starting developing software, what we are doing, we have a product discovery workshop. So in that workshop, we try to understand how it will impact employees, managers. So we are trying to talk to them, like, hey, look, do you think they will adapt easily to that? Maybe we can simplify something so it will be adopted faster by your employees. So I think that communication is the key of transforming the mindset of the employees from being afraid of digitalization to just using it as a tool.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, then I think I have two more questions left, so not too long. What is currently your biggest frustration and why? Is it, I mean, regarding business, of course, is it the cultural thing as well?
I would say that frustration is something bigger than just what I mentioned before. So I
Yeah.
would say that the biggest frustration is that companies underestimate the cost of inefficient logistics operation. They continue using outdated systems because change feels risky. And if we are talking about big companies, then we have managers that are afraid to take some decisions because they are maybe annual bonus depends on the P&L and how the things are going, or their salary. So that's why they're afraid to take bold decisions. So that's why the companies shall change something in these mindsets. They just need to understand the cost of the inefficient logistic operations. Mostly not changing or not digitalizing is a bigger risk than just sitting and going forward.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer and for all the answers in this podcast. These were all my questions. Now, only if you want to leave a thought for the or a message for the audience that's looking right now, here is your chance.
I think that I think this is relevant not just for outsourcing companies or software companies, but I think it's relevant for all the industries that want to be relevant in the next 5-10 years, is to find the niche and to specialize in something, because the basic things probably will be replaced. Talking about AI, they will be replaced, or maybe a big part of it would be able to be done by AI. But we still, big companies, big challenges won't disappear. If everyone will use AI, I'm talking about average companies will use AI, that means that all those companies will be basically the same. They won't have any competitive advantage. So that's why I recommend, even though you are, I don't know, a washing car company, or you are a restaurant or an outsourcing companies, just try to find your niche, specialize in it, and people will find you and would like to work and to pay you more, just because they know that working with you, they will be able to cut some edges.
Okay, thank you very much, Maxim, for the answer again and for participating to the podcast. I was Bogdan, your guest. I was here with Maxim. I believe it was a very interesting podcast, and I will see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you very much, Bogdan.